Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out XRP's price chart, and I am actually going to tell you why at the moment it seems like that we are definitely following the bullish track and what are some very optimistic signs happening in this area right in here. So are you ready? Let's dive in. And first things first, let's actually do a quick Elliott Wave count starting from this low and ending to about this high, because I'm thinking we are probably having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves to about this point, and on a higher degree, it might actually be into a wave 3, correction for 4, and yet another move up into wave 5. Now, of course, we can consider other possibilities, and for example, one scenario suggests this point instead is the end of a wave 3, correction for 4, excuse me, what just happened? Correction for 4, and yet another move up into wave 5, but given how long this move is taking us, I'm going to argue it's probably not going to be on the same degree as this one. And again, odds are we have completed a 5 wave to about this height. Now, why is this important? You see, if you want to argue that maybe we have hit our final low in XRP around here, let's say this is like a very important support area, which by the way, it is actually a very strong support. And I think it was from monthly, weekly, and also daily time frame at the same time. Then okay, you need to be able to find off of the lowest low in this region a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. This specific example is called an impulse. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, wave 3 is just not allowed to be the smallest wave. And in terms of the sub waves, you know the story in case that you are a regular viewer of the channel. 5 up into wave 1, 3, and 5, and for 2 and 4 we can have different counts. Let's say, I don't know, okay, WXY into wave 2 and like an ABC structure into wave 4. Now let's go on the live chart and count some waves and see what is happening. So the last time that we talked about XRP, we were right in here, and the idea was that there's a very high chance we are having 5 wave up, but it's not going to be a long opportunity, because even according to the most bullish count, after a 5 wave, what are we going to have? A move on the downside, hopefully in form of a correctional structure. And I said if we get a move down in here, can be a decent long opportunity in hope that we get yet another move up. And what do you know, that's pretty much played out. Now, here is a very important point. On some higher degrees in XRP at the moment, in the interest of being objective, we should consider two different counts. Scenario number 1 is actually the bearish possibility, suggesting these are simply the subwaves for a great looking ABC zigzag, meaning what? Yep, you guessed it right. At one point, maybe soon in Ripple, we are going to have a move down, and in it, either we are going to take the lowest low down here about, let's say, $2.7, or maybe we're just going to have some more chopping around and waste some times in here. And I promise you, this is going to make a lot of investors and also some short-term traders angry, and it is going to most likely shake them out of their trades. I know it's absolutely annoying, but the market doesn't really care about you, or for that matter, anybody's feelings. It does what it does. And here's the thing, I don't really believe that this should be, at least at the moment, our primary case. Why? Because when I look at this move down, it seems like that we are actually having a correction structure and not an impulse. Because if you want to say, for example, we have hit our final top in here, you need to be able to find off of the highest side like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And sure, maybe you are able to find in here a 5 wave, but it's not going to be my primary count at the moment. Now, pay full attention to what I'm about to say. Recently, I checked some news, and according to them, in this phase up in XRP, we actually had a bit of a liquidation event. So what is it that I'm trying to say? You see, it's, in my opinion, a combination of both liquidations and also money flowing in into XRP that caused this move on the upside. But the real question in my view is this: which one of these two had more effects? I think we are going to get our answers very soon. Why? You see, if this move up was mostly caused by liquidations, then okay, it makes perfect sense to argue, since it doesn't really have a whole lot of power, soon we're going to get a very strong move down, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the other hand, if this move up was mostly caused by money flowing into XRP actually, then okay, what are we going to see in here? A consolidation pattern, a very slow and choppy move down, suggesting bears aren't really that strong and bulls are actually at the moment in charge, and we are going to have at that point yet another move on the upside. And why is this specific move important? Because at that point, in terms of Elliott waves in XRP, you are able to tell me, look, we are having on a higher degree a clear-cut picture perfect beautiful 1 2 3 4 5 wave up, which is a great sign suggesting, okay, you know what, we have truly hit our final low in here about $2.7, and this is going to be the beginning of the next major phase of the bull run in Ripple, because you probably know my stance on this in case that you are a regular viewer of the channel. I really have a hard time believing that after a 7-year long-term turnout consolidation pattern in XRP, we are only going to set an all-time high by like the smallest margin, and that will be at the end of our bull run. I think that is very, very unrealistic to think. That's why, in my view, in XRP, our bull run is simply not over, and maybe even the majority of the move up in Ripple is still yet to be seen. And for example, I do actually think that maybe like an $8 to $10 XRP is going to be sort of kind of the bare minimum target. If we are really lucky and optimistic, we can even crack the $20 region. Who knows? In my view, that can indeed be in play. So what is it that I'm trying to say? I'm trying to tell you, in the mid to long term, in case that you don't really care about the short-term price action, you should just hold your assets and not necessarily watch the price every single day, because the trend overall, in my view, is absolutely bullish, and there's simply at the moment nothing to be worried about as long as we are staying above this very, very important level between, let's say, $2.50 to about $2.7. On the other hand, if you also do care about the short-term price action, then okay, number one, I think XRP at the moment is right on the bullish track. And number two, the job at the moment is not done yet. What we need to see in here is a correction structure and then yet another move up into hopefully this wave 5 in order for us to be bullish with like much more confidence. Now, do we have some more early bullish signals in here? The answer is yes, and I believe we talked about this subject at the end of the previous update. Okay, you see, in terms of the trends, in a downtrend, we are going to have a series of lower highs and lower lows. And this is the key, pay attention. When we get a move up, and in that move, we take the previous major pivot high right in here, at that point, we can argue, you know what, maybe the trend has changed and our downtrend has come to an end. And from here, we can expect instead a series of higher highs and high lows, meaning a great looking uptrend. Now, why is this important? Let's go on the live chart, zoom out a bit more. What do we have in XRP? I think it's safe to say that this is a high, this is a low, this is a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and let's just hide everything, excuse me. Recently, as you can see, we absolutely took the previous major pivot high. So this is yet another very much early bullish signal indicating, you know what, maybe this downtrend in Ripple has indeed come to an end. And maybe from here, we are just going to have a series of higher highs and high lows in order to continue our bull run and have some very strong moves. And based on that, we can say, okay, exciting times in XRP is indeed ahead of us. So overall in Ripple, in my view, we are looking absolutely bullish. In the short term, we are going definitely according to the bullish track, but just wait a little bit more and see consolidation and yet another move up in order to be more bullish with more confidence. And overall, if you do not care about the short-term price action, again, in my view, you should just hold your asset and be very calm, because for now at least, there's simply no sign indicating that our bull run is just over. And from the current point, we are going to have a massive move down in order to set new lows. I find that extremely hard to believe. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XRP. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.